Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 9 American Battleship, Iowa. She has 79,000 health, a top speed of 34.6 knots, 9 406mm guns, 20 secondary guns, a surface detect of 12.2 kilometers, and 95 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, improved turret traverse, improved main battery accuracy, reduced the chance of flooded fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, basic firing training, basic survivability, expert marksman, superintendent, advanced firing training, and concealment again. We're on the map Neighbors, and it's been a while since I've played in the Iowa. I really enjoy this ship, maybe not as much as I probably did in the past, and that's more to do with the power creep. At least I believe it's power creep for the German battleships. Now, some people have asked me, hey, Notser, what are you going to be doing for 0.6.0 with your American battleship line? What spec are you going to go? Well, it's going to be similar to this spec. I'm going to go concealment. I'm going to go expert marksman. I might decide to use fire prevention over superintendent, but I will have extra points. And I will definitely try to look at maybe advanced firing training, swap out the faster turret traverse, so I could be like an entire zone of anti-air. I do fully expect at some point aircraft will exist and you will have to consider their existence. But for now, it is all in on killing destroyers, cruisers, and battleships. Enemy Fletcher is going over to Sea Point, and it's basically a Tier 9 versus a Tier 8. I would like to change that engagement, and we did 8,000 damage. We hit 6 shells, and that's not an easy shot. Most battleship captains, at least the ones that I watch, I would not assume that they would take that shot. They would probably go for something more successful, like a battleship or a cruiser. But for me, I put so much stock in... Friendly? Friendly, what are you doing? Does he even notice me? He doesn't notice me at all. So I have to drop the speed. But I put a lot of stock in the power of the destroyer. They dictate so much of the objective play. If I can hit him for 8,000, he's going to think twice, right? He is now one-shottable from a torpedo if he tries to use the smoke strategy. Something to consider. And an enemy cruiser just looking to fire my gun. Honestly, it wasn't a good shot. We did happen to get a citadel though. So we added another 23,000, 24,000, 25,000. Yeah, 25,000. That's roughly what we added. That's worth the bad shot. Getting a little lucky on the dispersion. And boy, there's a lot of unknowns there, right? There's 4 ships that I don't know quite where they are. Friendly Benson is detected. He just needs to pull back. You're no good to me, dead. And that's exactly what he's doing. There could be torpedoes anywhere. It's so dangerous. In that New Orleans, I would love to kill him, but he's behind the island. So I expect either the cruiser that I didn't fire on that cruiser, but there is a cruiser that is somewhere by sea. I also have to consider that there's an island right next to me. Keep in mind that you can sail without actually looking at it. I'm setting up a broadside on this tank sniper. Ooh, the dispersion looks good. It feels good. Is it good? It could have been better. Oh, it could have been so much better. It was a perfect or almost perfect broadside. We had such good dispersion. And we didn't hit the citadel. We did not hit the citadel. But I can't complain. The guy's 50% life. I just think I should have killed him. That was a huge mistake, and I've made that mistake all the time. Oh, they can't hit the shot. I'm so much better than them. They can't hit the shot. Well, that cockiness will get you killed sometimes. And I just want to finish him off. I felt like it was personal at this point, and again, he's in my way. I'm a giant battleship. And not good. Not good at all. Enemy North Carolina fires on us. Does minimal damage. Thankfully, I was able to angle away. The enemy has not captured C. Don't know where the Fletcher went. probably going to avoid any engagement close to the front line because he is unhealthy. We took a third off in one salvo. And just trying to spread it around, possibility that maybe he's going to turn, soften that angle to head back towards the center of spawn. And he sort of does that. But is the shell... Yeah, we miss. It gets better. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're not going to miss every single shot. And I love it. Holy cow! Hey, Notser! You making a video? I make a video every single game. Every single game is recorded. Why do I record it? Because the replay is so garbage in this game. You can't see when people use their cursor. You can't see their rudder. Ooh, nice. Okay, 12,000. That's good. Don't over-rotate back into the torpedoes, but capturing it live, you notice it. You notice it. And until they fix the replay, I have to do it. So everything is recorded. I get rid of things that just are irrelevant. I can't afford to use that sort of space for it. And you move on. So, the enemy team is going to capture A point. Only one ship is dead. Only one ship. On both sides. It doesn't look too good. However, the enemy Arpeggio Takao does show his side. And oh, the dispersion. It looks good. Oh, just so close. Just so close. Needed to lead the target just a little bit. So the lead on this target, he's about 8 seconds out, is about 11 tick marks. 11 tick marks. He's going a little bit faster than 30 knots. And I'm hoping that it will hit directly center. We get a citadel, we take him out. The enemy team just lost 3 ships, just like that. This flank is captured. We can safely take C point. The enemy that I got sort of a lucky dispersion, Scooby Jr. Is that his name? Yeah, Scooby Jr. Not exactly the Scoob. I fire at a target that's dotted. It was a waste of a shot, and yeah, he dies to it. I should have just paid more attention, honestly. It's my fault. It's really my fault. There's no excuse for that. It was just a complete waste of a shot, and you gotta wait. That's the thing with battleships. You wonder why battleships like hold their fire, or they feel compelled to maybe be a little bit more passive. It's because if they do something wrong, they have to wait 30 seconds to right that ship. Then we have a Der Grosse, tier 9, pretty powerful. Enemy North Carolina, enemy Colorado. They're pretty grouped up, but the enemy team is falling fast. And we get 5,000 on the enemy Der Grosse. He is going to have to avoid the torpedoes, and that's the thing that Germans are bad at. They have terrible rudder. And the rudder can also help out battleships if we get a flank. I could get a lot of damage on this guy. Now, I'm probably not going to citadel him. But if you aim slightly higher, now you notice it's not perfectly at the waterline. When I'm aiming at German battleships, I don't... Oh, God. Don't look at that shot. Oh, the shot. But in general, when I'm aiming at Germans, I like to aim a pixel or two off the waterline, because I know I'm not going to get a citadel, and the way dispersion works in this game, plus or minus, it's going to disperse. If I'm aiming just at the waterline, 1 or 2 shells are going to hit the water. They're just going to disperse into the water. If I aim too high, then a couple shells are going to get over the superstructure. If I aim mid-ship, I should account for all the plus or minus dispersion and do pretty good damage, and 20,000 is pretty good damage. 6 of the 9 shells dispersed into the target. That's exactly what you want when you're firing at those big German battleships. They might have superior citadels, they might have so many things about them that are so much better. Secondary gun range, even their AA protection, it's really good compared to the Japanese. They still take a lot of damage if they show a perfect broadside. Yeah, you might kill it in 1 less salvo or 1 more salvo, but they still take a ton of damage. And he's got to deal with a slow rudder compared to other battleships. And it looked like 1 or maybe 2 of the shells hit the back gun turret and it ricochets off for almost no damage. That's just the way it works. And I'm fairly aggressively pushing towards B point. I don't really care. I feel like we're in a dominant position and I need to capture more territory. So we get pretty lucky with the dispersion. It hits the target. Enemy Colorado probably going to die before me. I would like to kill the North Carolina. Notice he's showing a ton of his side. Plus, I'm charging into the smoke. I'm trying to avoid taking damage from him. And we fire at the waterline. Just a touch too short. Two of the shells hit the water. A third obviously hit the water, but two of the shells that almost were going to be there, they hit too short. Then to fire again. We get a Citadel with that shot. Nice. 20,000. And he's going to die. He's actually within secondary range, believe it or not. And who's going to get the kill? Not me. There's only 2 destroyers left. And I believe that Fletcher is still alive somehow. We just ran over the enemy team. And part of being in a battleship is just taking the advantages you have and making more. That doesn't mean go blindly into danger. What that really means is if you see that your team is going to be able to take out a target or take an objective, try and find a vulnerable target on a secondary flank that isn't paying attention. Especially the American battleships, because most American battleships, now some of you are like, oh, concealment is bad for Americans. That's fine. It works for me. I enjoy it. I use the lack of information for the enemy to try and get a broadside shot, and we're going to try and take the Fletcher out. Now, he didn't see us until we fired. He probably assumed that when I fired, I was going after him, and we get the kill on him. We start the match getting 8,000 on the Fletcher, and we end it by killing that same Fletcher. So the Iowa, not a bad ship. We did 140,000 points of damage, 3 kills, no medals, unfortunately. 3 citadels, 2 assisted captures, which is kind of rare for a battleship, 2,237 base XP, and only 2 people on my team died. But we ran with an advantage, and we made it a larger advantage against the enemy. It cascaded out of control. The team did a good job, what can I say? Most of the damage, in fact 99% of the damage, came from my main battery AP shells. I think I'm just going to commit to an AA build on these guys. Eventually, the aircraft carrier will be relevant. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.